Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now we're going to get our popcorn and then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car and I'll be in there in a minute. I see you soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think I have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. We're gonna have a quick live. Tina Powers is the first one in the building. Hey, she says, "Come on, you guys. Come on, everybody. Let's talk." So we're gonna do just a quick live. Today is Wednesday, and we're going to pick out what other case that we're going to start looking at and seeing what's going on. I know, we chattered and we got the highlights of what happened with the Jarvis case, and it's gonna, hey, everybody likes to talk about that, and we talked about it all yesterday. We came on live yesterday, you guys, later in the evening. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the building. I see Tina Powers in here, Ruby Turner's in here, C6 Banks is in the building, Zena's in the building. How you doing? Miss Minnie Coupons is in the building. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys for showing up and throwing something in the chat. Lady Redbird is in the building. She says, hello, you guys. She got her hands out there. She's like, what's going on? So, yes, I like to see you guys come on in here. We're not going to stay long. Trust me, you got to be like, oh, as P said, we're not going to stay long. We'll be on here for an hour and 30 minutes and da-da-da-da. No, we're not going to stay long because, today is Wednesday. And today is it's April Fool's Day. April Fool, we gonna be on it for a minute. Nah, we not gonna be on here long because April, I really don't play in April at all. When I say like, you know, yeah, I don't let people get on my nerves. Shoot, hey, I'll go do what I gotta go do. And I advise you guys to do the same thing because people get real crazy and ignorant in April. So and my husband didn't understand why I was telling him that, and he was like, "What's wrong in April? What happened to you in April?" And hey, I don't let things happen to me in April. I just know I'm not going nowhere and all that other stuff because if you really understood the Hebrew months, the month that was the wicked month, and exactly, Freddie, it's really April. They don't have 12 months. They had somewhere like 14 to 16. And it wasn't October. It wasn't nowhere near Halloween. It was actually April. And if you look back in history repeats itself on a lot of stuff. And that's when the strongest of that type of spirit comes out, and it comes out in people, and they don't know why they do things. You've got stuff like, and I'm just going to give you about 5 things that I can think of. Let me think. First of all, Hitler was born in April. Let me see what all. Okay, the shooting that happened in Colorado, the school shooting that shook the world, it happened in April. What else happened in April? The Oklahoma bombing. That happened in April. That Texas Waco thing. I don't have my phone here. Let me see. I got this phone. It might be dead. No, it's not dead. That happened in April. Let's look it up. Incidents that happened in April. Well, this phone is not like my other phone. It picks up stuff, but it didn't pick up what I said. Let me see. Incidents that has happened in April. "10 days of tragedy. Historic disasters occurred over these days." That's what they say. Tornadoes break out. 1986, the World Nuclear Association. What are the most tragic days in April history? Here are some of the events of noted that happened between April 15th and death with a little change of pace. Let me see what it says. I'm just telling you guys because, let me see. It says the week of April the 15th is no stranger to tragedy. While disaster can strike at any time, and using facts of the day. Let's see. Oh, somebody's got something in here. Okay, let's see what they say. Apparently something called the IDs. The IDs of March occurring on March. Okay, Julius Caesar was assassinated. Let me see. Just an educated guess. April the 15th date of the stinking and also tax day. Oh, okay. Let me see. No, they're not saying anything right there. Let's see. So that didn't tell me anything. She said, my chauffeur ran out of gas. Ran out of gas. Oh, sorry. Let me see. President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in April. Okay. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in April. I didn't know that. I did not know that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in April. Wow. Let's see what else. What else has happened? And the guy that the Oklahoma bombing, he said the reason why he did it on that day is he was honoring that David Koresh guy that was in Texas, and David Koresh was honoring Hitler's birthday and da 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 da. Yeah, just taking out some people. So it says April has witnessed the unfolding significant milestone that has influenced the course of nations and society. And so much, without much ado, here are 10 historical events that happened in the month of April, April the 12th. The American Civil War began with the Confederate attack on Fort. Okay, so the Civil War began in April. Oh, I didn't know that. President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. The RMS Titanic sank after hitting the iceberg in April. The San Francisco earthquake struck in April. The first Earth Day was celebrated, marking the beginning of the modern environment movement. That ain't nothing. The Columbian High School massacre occurred in Colorado. I told you guys that. Yeah, that massacre that happened in Colorado, it was in April the 20th, actually, 420. 2 students carried out a shooting spree, resulting in the death of 13 people. Well, let me see. Okay. Confederate General Robert surrendered to the Union. Okay. I guess it started in April and it ended in April. Became the first human to journey. The American Revolution War began with the Battle of Lexington. So the Revolutionary War began in April. Oh, what is this? The Chernobyl nuclear disaster occurred in Ukraine. It was in April. Oh, I did not know that. So that nuclear bombing that was in Ukraine, yeah, that happened in April. Wow. Well, it's just crazy. I just want you guys to. I'm trying to see some other stuff because it's just a lot. We did the highlights, the clutters. I guess they say April the 14th is the worst day in history. I don't know why that is. Assassination of the president, Titanic, the Black Sunday dust storm, making it frequent highlight a dark day. Yeah, I guess the Black Sunday was created. The dust storm was in April too. So, it's crazy. I didn't know. So, ever filled the sky? So that probably the first one I knew, and that's considered the worst storm in American history. So, it says, what is the cruelest week in history? Over the years, the time period has been referred to as the cruelest week is April the 15th. Okay. And they just say it's just a coincidence. So I just want you guys to just be aware of some things like that. Um, you know, uh, August the 25th may have killed more than 4 million people, and still it isn't the worst day in history. On March 24th, I guess there was a lot of stuff. The third week of April is very scary time for America. Let me see what else happened. After midnight on the 15th, let me see what this thing is saying. The Vice is saying. With a lot happening in the news like now, I feel like it's my duty to warn you about something. The third week in April is about to start, and that's when horrible crap happens in America. I'm not the first person to notice this. It seems that the third week in April has become our time of calamity. To be clear, when I say third week, I'm referring to the third seventh day period, beginning with the 15th through the 21st. The period covers just under 2% of the year in sheer time. But after I spent some time looking into it, it became clear that way more than 2% of America's worst catastrophes fall in this little time window. Here are 14 horrible adjacent events from past third weeks of April. San Francisco earthquake, the sinking of the Titanic, the port of Texas City explosion. Explosion, a cargo ship full of improper stored ammonia fertilizer exploded just off the coast of Texas, causing a chain reaction that blew up other ships and freights. The explosion killed at least 581 people and set the stage for the very first class action lawsuit. It was the largest industrial disaster in U.S. history. Oh, Texas City explosion. I didn't know that. The Bay of Pigs invasion. So 15,000 Cuban soldiers trained by the CIA invaded Cuba in an attempt to overflow Castro under the assumption that the U.S. military would provide air support. When the invasion became global news, President John F. Kennedy decided not to provide airstrikes. The operation failed spectacularly, and Castro was hailed as a military hero. So the Bay of Pigs invasion. Wow, that was in 1961. That was before me. The United States in Bass bombing in Beirut. A member of the Islam with ties ties with Hezbollah drove a car bomb up to the U.S. embassy in Beirut and blew himself up, killing 63 people, including 17 Americans. It's considered the first time Islamics ever intentionally target the U.S. The Elijah, Missouri saga. This is 1985. The FBI surrounded the headquarters of a group of white supremacists, Christian terrorists called the Covenant, the sword in the arm of the Lord. The standoff ended peacefully, but the event allegedly helped inspire the Oklahoma City bombing exactly 10 years later. See what I'm saying? All this stuff is coincide with each other. So I'm just telling you guys, So, wow, I did not know that. So the Elijah, Missouri saga. The FBI surrounded the headquarters of a group of white supremacist Christian terrorists called the Covenant, the sword in the arm of the Lord. The standoff ended peacefully, but the event allegedly helped inspire the Oklahoma City bombing exactly 10 years later. Okay. The Ruby Ridge helicopter incident between a group of isolated doomsday peppers in Idaho and some overzealous federal agents didn't turn deadly until August of 1992. But the event used as the primary justification for the standoff occurred on April the 18th. A helicopter working for Gerardo flew over and its crew reported hearing shots fired towards it. A later grand jury reported called the assassination gruesomely unfair. Ruby Ridge, partly inspired by the Oklahoma City bombing. Again, so the Branch Davis fire, April the 19th, 1993, the 51-day saga of a compound associated with an oddball, the Seventh Day Adventist in Waco, Texas, and concluded when the FBI attempted to raid the facility, resulting in a fire that consumed 76 people. This is the Texas Waco thing right here. So it says a saga of a compound associated with an oddball sect of Seventh-day Adventists. I didn't know they were Seventh-day Adventists there. Wow. In Waco. Okay. The Oklahoma City bombing. On April the 19th, a Gulf War vet blew up the Alfred Federal Building in Oklahoma City using 7,000 pounds of ammonia nitrate fertilizer, killing 168. The terrorists intentionally staged the bombing 2 years to the day after the Branch Davidian massacre. It was the deadliest act of a terrorist in U.S. history until 9/11. It's still the deadliest act of domestic terrorism. On April the 20th, 15 people died in the worst high school shooting in U.S. history. That's Colorado. The Virginia Tech, 33 people died in the second deadliest single shooter incident in U.S. history. The perpetrator referred to the Columbian high school shooter as merits the BP oil spill. This event is best remembered for the expand of the catastrophe that seemed like it would never end, but an explosion on April the 20th set the oil spill in motion. I remember that. It resulted in the death of 11 workers, and yes, the worst environment disaster in U.S. history. I remember they were trying to get all the ducts, all the oil off the ducts and in the wells and stuff, because they were dying, you know. And the Boston Marathon bombing on April the 15th killed 3 people and set in motion events that would claim 3 more lives by the end of the week. 2013 Texas fertilizer plant explosion. 15 people died in ammonia nitrate and fertilizer facility explosion, Texas. 66 years and 1 day after the Port of Texas City explosion, but it was overshadowed by the madness going on in Boston. So a lot of people didn't hear about that explosion, but even though it killed more people than the Boston thing, didn't hear. I can't claim there's anything special about the part of the year that makes people violent. Some of the events, the 2 school shootings, for instance, appear to have fed into each other, and is worth mentioning that Christians, camaraderies, and act of violence on Good Friday, and that Jews do the same on Passover. Those holidays fall around the 3rd week of April. Occasionally, those certainly not always. It's always not trivia that April the 17th, sometimes the 3rd Monday in April, is a little known holiday called Patrons Day, and it starts on the Revolution War on April the 19th. CNN noted in 2013 that militants groups in the U.S. groups associated with no less than 4 other tragedies mentioned above seem to have noticed the Patriot Day connection. Oh, and April the 20th was Hitler's birthday. Anyway, I don't know what the deal is with this week. It's
all probably a coincidence, but I'm not taking any chances. Beware the third week of April, everybody, and stay the F home. That's what it says. So I just include, she said, I married my second headache April the 16th. April wasn't a good month for me. Everyone has a blessed day. I need to lay down for a minute, gather my thoughts. Okay, all right, Freddie, you do what you got to do. So, yes, you guys, it is just something I have been knowing. Like, I get in my worst arguments in April, or, I did not know. It just, it's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't know Black Sunday was in April. So I don't deal with the zodiac stuff, but it's just a lot of that. I mean, it'd be different if it was, like, I mean, I know other stuff happen in different months and things like that. But it's just weird how April come up and everybody associate themselves with Hitler. They associate themselves with the Oklahoma bombing. They be like, I did this because this. So that's crazy. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna chill and but let me see what case we can follow. Oh, child missing case. Up to date, St. Louis County Police say child abduction report. An Amber Alert was issued Monday morning for a 5-year-old girl who was abducted. Police said in an afternoon update that the abduction was, let me see here. Wow, a 5-year-old girl? They want me to update my stuff, and I don't want to. Okay, let's see here. It says the St. Louis County Police say child abduction report was made up. What? St. Louis County Police say child abduction report was made up. Okay. So I guess the parents probably made it up. Let's see. Let's see what's going on.
So we just got some information really in the last 15 to 20 minutes about the status of the case. So I'm going to introduce our Lieutenant Colonel over the Division of Criminal Investigation, Colonel Jerry Lord, JERRYLOHR. Colonel.
All right, good afternoon. Obviously, we've spent an inordinate amount of time this morning investigating what we believe to be an abduction of a 5-year-old child. We have dispelled that. There was no child that was abducted, so we're pleased to announce that there was no abduction this morning. I'd like to take an opportunity to thank the community. Obviously, everyone has been worried. Everyone has been responsive. Our community has obviously done what I believe you would expect them to do. They've called in tips. I know they were actively assisting us in our search. So I'd like to take a moment to thank our community for their support. I'd also like to thank our regional partners, St. Louis City.
So somebody made a false report.
St. Charles City Police Department also assisted us with this investigation. And I'd also like to really take a moment to thank our detectives. Obviously, we received this call at about 7:30 this morning, and we have been working tirelessly to dispel was obviously first and foremost to locate a child if there was one abducted, but then to dispel this. The individuals that made this 911 call will be charged. We will charge them and apply for warrants for filing a false police report. It's important to note the amount of time and resource and the allocation of our resources that go into something like this. We take this very, very seriously. And I'd also like to take a moment to those that have had a child abducted. Obviously, this re-traumatizes them. And so, again, we feel for their loss. And anytime there's a situation like this where somebody makes a hoax or makes a prank accusation or call,
Wow.
It re-traumatizes those that have actually experienced something like this.
Exactly.
So, again, there was no child abduction. We are investigating the theft of the vehicle, and we will continue to do that. All of our efforts up to this point have been focused on finding what we believe to be a missing 5-year-old girl. But we will now turn our investigation into the individual that stole that car this morning. I'm happy to answer any questions. Speaking to motivation, I don't necessarily know. I don't know if it was a sense of panic. I don't know if the individual thought that they would get more response to the fact that their vehicle had been stolen.
Oh, wow.
So I can't speak to the motivation of the individual to make a claim.
So what he said is 2 individuals called and said their car was stolen, and I guess a 5-year-old little girl was in the car. So they looking for the 5-year-old little girl, but evidently it was because their car was stolen. And they thought they can get a better response. Oh my God.
Like that. And your second question was turning point. The story unraveled essentially. So as we began to ask more and more questions about this child, this individual, said that she was basically taking care of a child from a deceased sister. And once we started to contact other family members, contacted those individuals involved in that case, it became apparent that that was not the case. Does the child exist? No.
The child does not even exist.
Correct.
Where did the description come from? They just made that up.
Made it up.
What's in the chart before we be seeing for this?
Filing a false police report.
Is the man, woman, more?
These are 2 females.
2 females.
Was there a child at all?
No.
Does she have custody of that child?
No.
Any name and everything?
Yes.
Was there really still a car?
There is really a stolen car.
There was really.
That is the one part of the story that is true, that this individual, her car was stolen this morning. The part about a child being in the car, the part of the story about her taking custody of a relative's child, all of that is not true.
Talk about all the resources that you guys put in for today.
Oh, wow.
Strangers coming up saying, how can we help? I mean, can you talk about what this does to the department, but also surrounding agencies trying to help?
So obviously, from a law enforcement perspective, we essentially stop everything we're doing and dedicate essentially every available
Wow.
to something like this. In these types of cases, time is of the essence. So it is important for us to jump as quickly as we can onto a case like this, because as time goes by, we all know that it makes it harder and harder for us to then investigate or solve a case like this. So internally, essentially, everyone it's all hands on deck for us. And as far as the community goes, it's no different. It creates anxiety. It creates unease. There's a belief out there that maybe this happens to me. So it creates a kind of a false narrative, which impacts and affects everyone.
Right.
And that's why these are so disturbing. And it's unfortunate she chose to do this. And obviously, we will try to hold her accountable through the prosecuting attorney's office. But it's just as far as the number of manpower,
Wow.
Manpower-wise, essentially all of our detectives are now or have been focused on this case.
And it wasn't no child. It was because her car was stolen.
It's her roommate.
Hmm.
The car was stolen. The car, we do believe the car was stolen, yes.
The car was, but
We do not, so the individual, no, but understand again, our focus was on identifying the 5-year-old
They were trying to find the 5-year-old, but they found the car.
Whoever had stolen the car obviously would have had knowledge of this 5-year-old. But again, everything we have done is focused on identifying and finding the 5-year-old, and now we will then shift to trying to identify the individual who stole the car.
Did this person say, hey, yeah, I made this up?
Yes, they have recanted. Yes, up to a point. Both had similar stories. Yeah. Yes, they're both in custody, and they will be applying for warrants. Yes.
Wow.
I believe it's a misdemeanor charge.
It's a misdemeanor charge.
The car has been located. Yes, we located the car approximately 2 hours after the 911 call. So again, kind of timeline-wise, I think the 911 call was between 7:30 and 7:51. 7:57. Thank you. 7:57 was the 911 call. I think by 9:30-ish, we had located the vehicle.
Oh.
The ages for the women?
I don't have them off the top of my head, no. But I'm sure we'll be pushing that information out.
Any message for that anyone's watching? I mean, obviously about making these false reports.
I would ask people to understand the impact that they have when they make an accusation like this or they make a claim like this, and what it does not only to the community, more importantly, what it does to the community. It creates this sense of unease, this sense of danger, sense of anxiety, and then also the law enforcement.
It's crazy.
It makes us pivot and focus every resource that we have on something like this, which does detract from those crimes that we are currently and actively investigating.
Well, yeah.
It detracts from those victims that we are actually trying to find, to serve justice for.
What time did she recant?
Within the last 45 minutes.
When you originally got to the scene, was anything odd? The fact they didn't have a photo, or were there maybe no toys, or anything that started sticking out to you?
So all of those things. So obviously we believe, again, if you come forward and make a claim, we treat it as if it's valid. But there are indicators, and kind of early on indicators in this situation, which led us to think that this may not be what it appeared to be. So the lack of child's clothing, the lack of other photos, lack of other people seeing the child, lack of relatives' awareness. So again, as you kind of put all of these pieces together, the picture becomes clearer and clearer.
Well, I don't care to hear no more of that.
Suspect. Each of them have. Anything else?
It says the abduction hoax
Thank you guys, and thank you guys for
cost police at least $16,000
as you did. We really
in St. Louis.
We'd like to make sure that we stay in constant contact to keep the public informed. So if we get any charges or warrants or anything like that, we'll definitely be pushing those out.
Women facing charges after fake child abuse.
From the PA's office.
They even sparked the Amber Alert.
Watch what magnesium does to your bowels.
If you have to wipe more than 4 times,
Anyway, you guys, that something that was they did the press conference and everything. Yeah, they was on that one. I'm looking at it. Oh, it's all over the news. Yeah. And the car wasn't even a really nice looking car. Now looking at the car. Golly. Yeah. Oh, wow. Anyway, you guys, I will see you guys Friday. All right. You guys be good, be safe, and be